LetDirect is a consultant to print catalogers and digital marketing retailers. We were incorporated 20 years ago in 1995, and our average relationship with our clients is 10 plus years. Our goals are to achieve a true multi-channel marketing strategy that leverages print catalogs with all of the various digital channels. So often we hear, when catalogs are mentioned, aren't they expensive? Are they difficult to manage? Are they resource intensive, antiquated, dead, dinosaurs? Well, the truth is that they're alive and doing very well. Just last year, 12.5 billion catalogs were mailed into U.S. homes. In 2013, almost 90 million Americans bought from a catalog. Lands' End published the results of a survey it conducted, which showed 75% of their consumers consulted with their catalog before placing an order online. Nordstrom's annual report noted that customers who have a multi-channel relationship with them tend to spend 4 times as much as those that don't. And even in the last 12 months, our company, LetDirect, has been approached by several well-known national brands that you would all easily recognize to develop new print catalog programs. And after all, television didn't kill the radio. It's true. Catalogs have changed substantially in the last 5 to 10 years. This has been driven primarily by postage rate changes, ups and downs in the economy, the increased prominence of the web. Total catalog circulation is down since its peak in 2007. However, I believe that speaks to efficiency and progress, not effectiveness. Today, we're able to mail much smarter than we were just 5 or 10 years ago. And catalogs have changed format as well. Today, we tend to see them contain less pages, maybe shorter product descriptions, larger product images. They're designed to drive traffic to the web. The value of print is what we like to say 1 + 1 = 3. In other words, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. The ability to reach print gives us the ability to reach highly targeted prospects, increase average order value size over digital-only channels, increase the lifetime value of our customer base, and can help build and solidify your brand image in your consumers' eyes. Yes, some catalog programs do fail. A few reasons for this is possibly they are undercapitalized. The companies don't understand what kind of financing needs to be in place to launch a successful program. They may not understand how to manage the program itself. And they may not understand what key metrics to follow and indicators of success. But our company exists to help you navigate these common pitfalls. So as we kind of touched on, when we see interaction across channels, those customers are more valuable to us. Deloitte published a study that found multi-channel customers spend 82% more than single-channel customers. And prospecting. Prospecting is probably substantially different than what you may be used to in your web channels. Print prospecting allows us to reach very highly targeted prospects that you may not be able to reach through the web only. Catalogers use these things called co-op databases. Co-ops actually model your current customer file. The co-ops contain aggregated consumer transactional data. And the data that they have is provided by retailers just like you. It will allow you as a cataloger to identify and mail individuals with similar purchase behavior and profiles to your own customers and people that are proven catalog buyers. This is somewhat comparable, but more targeted than the digital counterpart you may recognize in your paid search programs of similar audiences and affinity audiences. This is probably the most effective prospecting available today for catalogers. And you may be wondering about the cost per acquisition. That's a metric that gets discussed quite frequently for the various web channels. And yes, your cost per acquisition will be higher via print than what you see on the web. However, this isn't necessarily a bad thing because you'll get what you pay for. Print is more effective at producing customers, while the web tends to produce buyers. And by that I mean customers are people that purchase from you multiple times. Buyers are people that come to your site, know exactly what they're looking for, purchase it, and you may not ever hear from them again. Customers have a higher lifetime value, higher average order value, stronger loyalty in general, and of course, new buyers are the lifeblood of any retail business and require an investment, regardless of the channel. On average, our data shows that consumers who interact with the catalog channel have an average order value that is approximately 20% higher than customers who don't interact with the catalog channel. It makes sense. When customers can see more of your products, they end up buying more of your products. Think about it in terms of page views. What's your company's average page views per session on the web? 5, maybe 10? Think about that in comparison to how you shop a catalog. Do you flip cover to cover? How do you shop the web? Do you navigate just to your favorite category or product page? Or do you shop the whole site and browse? The catalog can introduce your customers to products that they didn't even realize they want and need. The print catalog is going to help solidify your brand image. It creates trust and confidence in your customers. It contributes to your brand image differently than the web does. It can promote a feeling of luxury. It's tangible. People can pick it up and feel it in their hands. It creates an identity for you. And there's even different ways to reinforce and define that brand image through print. You might have heavier pages versus lighter pages, special page coatings, maybe glossy or matte. You can bind your catalog differently to give it a different appearance and feel. Think about, say, J. Crew with glossy pages and sharp images compared to something like maybe Restoration Hardware with matte pages and sort of a rustic look. Right, so we had mentioned that it's a tangible interaction. This helps significantly with brand recall. You may know that 60% of consumers can't remember the last banner ad they saw, and only 14% of them could name the company that published the ad. Think about that in comparison to a catalog laying on a coffee table for a month or more versus visiting multiple sites. Can you even recall what sites you visited today? I probably couldn't even remember half of the sites I've been to today. So the shopping experience is quite different. People tend to thumb through the pages rather than searching out the exact item. They earmark pages as they move through the catalog. They may tear out pages, maybe give something to their spouse for an item that's on their birthday wish list. They make notes and highlights on pages for things that they want to come back to later. Bowden, who is a new cataloger, found the customers spend 15 to 20 minutes shopping the catalog on average. In comparison, our own data shows that customers tend to spend about 5 to 8 seconds on each email, maybe 3 to 5 minutes on average per web session. So it is significantly different. In addition, the life of the catalog is longer than what the digital channels can provide. It has, we say it has staying power. It often is in the home for weeks, sometimes months. We've seen orders come in years after a book has been mailed. So they produce orders for a very long time after arriving in home. You know, the length of time varies by retailer, but it'll likely span from weeks to months. On average, the life of a B2C catalog is 15 to 25 weeks. Within the first 3 weeks, we see about 50% of the orders come in, 80% in 10 weeks, and 95% in 20 weeks, or 5 months after the catalog was mailed. And there's a definite impact that we can see on the web when a catalog arrives in home. There's an offline impact as well. The call center will get busy. We'll see more foot traffic in brick and mortar retailers. On the web, we may see spikes in website sessions and revenue and transactions. We'll see increased search activity across the web for brand and non-brand queries. And by that I mean for users searching for your company name and also searching for the products that your company sells. Let's take a look at some actual test data that will kind of prove our case. We set up a contact strategy test, which was made up of 4 panels or customer segments. It was comprised of 3 catalog drops, and each customer segment was made up of 20,000 unique individuals. All of them were treated equally with regard to other contact points such as email, display marketing, search marketing, etc. Panel A received all 3 catalog drops. Panel B received only the first and the last catalog drop, and Panel C received only the first drop. Panel D did not receive any catalogs at all. Now let's look at the results. Here, about halfway down the table, you can see the gross demand that was generated from each panel. Below that, we've allowed for the net after returns and order cancellations, the gross margin, as well as the cost in the mail, which includes printing, postage, and paper. And this gives you a bottom line contribution to profit and overhead figure. You can see Panel A, which received all 3 catalog drops, profited nearly $47,000, whereas Panel D, who didn't receive any catalog drops, generated only about $18,500 of profit. So it's making a very significant impact. You might be wondering, how are the results tracked? Catalogers use a process called MATCHBACK. And MATCHBACK is an algorithm that allows us to match the mail to name from a catalog mailing list against the orders that are received during the life of a mailing, a catalog mailing. It's common for us to find that 60 to 80% of the buyers interacted with the catalog prior to placing their order. In other words, the catalog played a role in driving the order. It's an additional touch point. It's an opportunity for an additional interaction with your customers. So how do you get started? We'd first want to take a look at the e-commerce buyers on your file to determine what the potential prospecting universe might look like. We'd want to define your product selection to determine how many pages are appropriate for your catalog. We want to create a financial budget and break-even analysis that'll give us, allow us to establish some goals. We want to develop a bottom-up circulation plan and forecast. This means that we're going to allow the data to define how many catalogs we can profitably print and mail. We don't say we want to mail 1 million catalogs next year and then back into the plan. We'll help you execute the plan, analyze the results using the matchbacks that we discussed a minute ago, and then remail, retest, and the cycle goes on. The key to success is your house file. If you're an internet retailer and you have a house file of at least 5,000 buyers, you have a much better chance for success. It allows us to prospect more efficiently. We want to leverage that house file by mailing your previous buyers. We want to make the data work harder for you. You might not be doing much with it right now, so why not mail it? We can leverage that house file by developing targeted product models using the co-ops. And some general guidelines for a new program are: we want to circulate a minimum of 300 SKUs or unique products. We want to have a page count that is at a minimum 32 pages. More is always better. And we want a minimum startup circulation of 50 to 100,000 books. We want to follow these to give our program a fair shot at being successful. In this example, we may decide that we want to execute 3 drops of 20,000 books each. That might be comprised of 5,000 books to your house file, your existing customers, and 15,000 books to prospects, the prospect names that we obtain through the co-ops or list rentals. So that concludes my portion of the presentation, and at this point, I'm going to hand it back over to Rob.
Thanks, Greg. Very good information. I hope the folks listening to this have found the webinar not only interesting and informative, but ultimately helpful as you employ your business strategy for this year and following years. If you have any additional questions for Greg or any of the sponsors, please feel free to contact them directly. We want to thank you for listening to our webinar, and have a great day, everybody.